sing the national anthem? May God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hands. United, free, boldly, but together we'll always stand. Can we have the East African anthem? E Mungu naomba ujilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. I don't know the anthem for the Arua. You will pardon me, but Your Excellency, I don't know whether we have a volunteer. We have to respect the cultural leaders, especially when we have the president who made sure that they are restored. Any volunteer? Honorable Feta? You've been putting pressure on me for West Nile Power. Can you take the microphone? The president is still standing. Take the microphone to one stanza for the cultural anthem.
The Vice President said she will not speak here. She will speak at the rally. We'll fix her.
1, 2, 3, go. Do we have a microphone? God help us. Okay. Can somebody wave to me who is leading the anthem? I beg that and his guests sit down. Thank you so much. Please sit down. Please sit down. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and Her Excellency, the Vice President, my colleagues, ministers, I beg your pardon, the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, General Moses Ali, my colleagues, ministers, and ministers of state, distinguished guests from UETCL, from the World Bank, the developers, the media. I am too excited. I may have flouted the protocol, but please understand my excitement. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you, Your Excellency, to this Nebbi substation. Thank you so much for having accepted to come yourself. I also want to welcome the rest of the team. Thank you so much for coming. Your Excellency, the Vice President, General Moses Ali, thank you for coming. The question, when will West Nile get connected to the national grid? This has been the question answered today. On the region onto the national grid. This 30th day of August 2024. Can we clap for the president for this? Sibauli, I'm not hearing you. Kalulu. Okay. Since I was in Parliament, Your Excellency, this has been the question by many members of Parliament. And actually, I was taking pity on the ministers of energy because I witnessed how they were being squeezed by the members of parliament from Western Nile, parliament after parliament. And I was taking pity. When you announced me as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, I really trembled because I knew the challenges as I observed them in Parliament. So I and my team, which I would like to thank very much, took a decision to prioritize the connection of West Nile region to the national grid amidst the many challenges and pressures that we have. I am happy to stand here today to say that that commitment, work like soldiers, first division, second division, third division. Amongst the divisions, we have the division of the regulator, Electricity Regulatory Authority, whose board is chaired by none other than Hajat Sarah. And then the whip, who is Engineer Ziria Wako, the serious regulator, a best regulator on the continent. Your regulatory authority, Your Excellency, has been rated the best for 5 consecutive years on the continent by the African Development Group. The other division is now UETCL, whose the chair of the board is your son, Kwame Ejalu. First thing we did in the ministry is to put away the old board, put away the old executive. I recruited new people, Your Excellency, and we have Joshua Kalamaji as the new, Engineer Joshua Kalamaji as the new CEO or MD for Uganda Electricity Transmission Company. Then we also have, of course, the First Division Commander, which is headed by the Permanent Secretary. This is now the commissioners, the technical team in the ministry. Can you please stand up, commissioners, the technical teams? Some have been moving with you. Yeah, that is the team that Engineer Batebe commands. Of course, for me, I am a Joint Chief of Staff with Honorable Okasai and Honorable Fiona Nyamutoro. Let me thank you in a special way for having given me a good combination of ministers of state. We work as a team, we agree, and we take decisions. We are supposed to stay and then go to the big function. But Your Excellency, because we've been dealing with many Thomases that have been doubting as to whether the national grid will reach this place, let me use a minute to from one point to the other. Because I was forced to tell the people of Western Nile last time we were in Arua, because of their pressures, that power does not move on a border. If it was to that stage because of the pressure. Your Excellency, in 1986, Uganda had only a capacity. But actually what they were using, what they were consuming out of that was less than 100 megawatts. You've moved this journey, especially through mobilizing resources to invest in many sectors, in the critical sector of defense and stability. Because without stability, you cannot talk about having power, because even if you had power, you may not switch it on when the country is unstable. You switch off and hide. So you invested in power stability, I mean in the stability of the country. You worked on infrastructure, roads, transport infrastructure, and electricity infrastructure, beginning from generation. You can't supply what you don't have. You have mobilized the money, and new power plants have been established. You mobilized the money for the evacuation and transmission and distribution network. Without that, my colleagues from this region, you can't think about having power without a transmission line. So the president had to mobilize resources, and I would like to thank the World Bank with moving with you, with your concessional loans, but World Bank money is not enough. The president had to mobilize over 100 billion for only this Kole, Gulu, Nebbi, Arua transmission line. We needed to pay people to compensate for their land. That was government of Uganda money. So thank you for the mobilization that you are doing. I want to thank the people on the ground. The Constitution gives them power to own land in perpetuity. Land here is communal, part of it. Where we are here, Your Excellency, was a graveyard. It was a graveyard belonging to a certain community. I want to pause here and thank you so much for having accepted to disturb the peace of the dead, to remove more than 75 graves from here to another area, which was paid for. The whole exercise of but the fact that you accepted amidst challenges, you were told that you will run mad, you were disturbing the dead, you will run mad, but nobody has run mad, and we are all safe. I wanted to having given out. Continue working with us. I would like to say, Your Excellency, that here we have the chairman LC1, who spoke before you came because we wanted to use the time more profitably, because we know you have a limited time. But the chairman mentioned in his speech, in appreciation, that the people, the youth who have been redundant are going to get jobs. Some already got jobs. He went ahead to say that there is new technology. This chairman, LC1 of this place, realized that these projects come with technology transfer, job creation, and I thought I should recognize him in your presence. I would like to end by thanking you all. This is supposed to be a welcome remark from the Minister of Energy to the President on this site. We are not supposed to overstay on this site because we are not properly dressed, some of us. Stop here, but I'm so excited, Your Excellency, that you have made it yourself, and that tomorrow you will be in Arua. We have the same substation. You may not be there physically, but I know you will be there to do the commissioning of another substation like this to Arua. May I take this opportunity, sir, to invite you and you speak to these few people who have represented the many who are waiting for you at the venue. Thank you so much for listening to me.
The Vice President, the ministers, the religious leaders, the cultural leaders, all the other leaders, and the people who are listening. the arguments which were being pushed by people who are saying that we had forgotten West Nile were wrong arguments. They were not serious. They were disruptive, actually. There was, when we, as the minister said, when the NRM came into government, the only installed power in Uganda was Owen Forest Dam. And to correct the minister, the generation capacity was not 100 megawatts, it was 150 megawatts. But only, and this was 150, I think there were like 10 turbines, each one 15 megawatts. Now, only 4 were working. The other 6 were not working. So therefore, the total production of power in Uganda was 60 megawatts. If you have got pens, you write it. If you are serious. If you are not serious, then shut up. So, and by contract, Uganda had to sell 30 megawatts to Kenya. This was the agreement between the colony of Uganda and the colony of Kenya long ago. Therefore, the only power in Uganda was 30 megawatts. And what we did, the first thing we did was to repair Owen Forest Dam back to 150 megawatts and fine-tune the generators to add another 30 megawatts. So we ended up with 180 megawatts. And we had some power. We were selling 30 to Kenya and keeping 150 now to Uganda. The problem was caused by, you check who were members of parliament here at that time, and you ask them. Because immediately we knew that the 150 megawatts, 180 now, was not enough. I worked so hard, and I got an American group called, I think American Energy or something like that. They were going to develop Bujagali on a private basis, and then we agreed. For me, I didn't have any problem with anybody developing power, provided we American Energy on 4.9 cents. This is on record, 4.9 American cents. We had agreed. Then you can check that debate in that parliament, and you check who are the members of parliament. When we took it to parliament, parliament blocked it. Blocked Bujagali. That's how we got into a deficit, into lagging behind. So now we had to come in and do like firefighting. We developed now the new power station to the east of the Nile, of Jinja. So they were able to add 200 megawatts on the east. So the Jinja site even just 380. But if Bujagar had not been interrupted with, and we really should find out those people, because we can't go on like this. Actually, sometimes I feel, should I go back to the bush and do some damage to something, or what? The problem was, it was caused by Parliament. Check that Parliament. The date, those are there, the dates are there, the is there. So that's how by 2005 as power. And the economy developed very fast. In 1995 we were able to hit like now, because of you are going to house or my ended up now with the law of just before the election. Now, after the election of 2005, again, that's where we were almost breaking up. We were going to break up. I was determined to do something very serious. Some of these people don't know our history. They think that when they see us putting on ties, they think that we are from the town. They don't, or they didn't. So after the election of 2006, I called the cabinet in the statistics house. And in the politest language, I said, please, you must prioritize electricity and the roads. Money everywhere. No emphasis, must stop. And I called the caucus, so listened. That's when we created the energy fund and we put money there. And that energy fund liberated us from so on. But sometimes they don't move on our speed. So when we created the energy fund, we had freedom of action. We put some money there. I think it reached about $600 million. Then we were able to put more money on the road. You can check the budgeting after 2006. How much money was on the roads, how much money was on the power. That's how now in the meantime, my wonderful people went behind my back. That group is also there. Went behind my back. They signed a new Bujagar agreement without my knowledge, where they removed the agreement I had reached with the American energy company of 4.9 cents. Then I heard they had started building in Bujagar. I said, that's good. Me, I didn't know the details because they didn't ask brief. I thought they were on the same terms. So when Bujagar is finished, what is the price? 16 cents. You imagine that. Parliament rejected a plan where the electricity would be at 4.9 American cents. Now we ended up with a new arrangement, of course involving our civil servants, without informing me. where the power now would be 16 cents per unit, American cents. But because of the energy fund, I started discussing with the Chinese to build Karuma and Isimba. Initially, we wanted to pay all of it ourselves from our budget. But along the way, the Chinese, the ambassador, the one who was here, said, no, Exim Bank of China can extend a loan on this. So that's how we ended up building Isimba, 183 megawatts, Karuma, 650 megawatts, and so on. And then in the meantime, we also built something on Agago River with some other group, 88 megawatts. So this is the power you are now talking about, which is now here. The generation. So first, really stop misleading our people, telling them lies. Lying is not leadership. But in the meantime, there was another problem. Apart from the problem of generation, there was the problem of consumption. Consumption in West Nile. There was power up to Kole on the other side, Kole in Lango, where then the line goes north to Gulu. That line was a 33 kV with a weaker current. The demand in West Nile was 2 megawatts or less. So the problem was the 33 kV cannot push power from Kole to West Nile. The distance is too long. That was the other problem also, which people who say they are leaders should know and find out. So that's why they said, if you install a 132 kV, I think this is the one you have installed now. It's a 132 kV now. Huh? 132. They have now installed a stronger line of 132 kV. Now, if you install 132 kV, who will consume the power? What will happen? It's not economics. I don't even know whether it is even technical. Somebody can tell us, would it make technical sense if you have so much power but which is not consumed? Somebody tell us that side first. Engineer Wako. You go and tell us. What were the technical problems? I can see the engineer, you are the one who is there now? Check. The man who is there.
Sorry, I'm calling her to come and speak.
Your Excellency, thank you for the opportunity. The problem is to grow both the industrialization, because there is already a suppressed demand, which is created by intermittent, unreliable supply, on and off. And then the other one is to prioritize the region for the last mile connection. Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, if you have 2 megawatts and you load it on a 132 kV line, the distance between the conductor and the ground generates a high voltage,
which in the end would again require you to incur another cost to consume that high voltage to be able to make the power usable. Your Excellency, where I started is that we need to consume this power. Otherwise, we shall incur another cost of managing the voltage, because naturally at 132 kV, the distance between the line and the ground generates an overvoltage. So the good thing now is that we are ready with already funded programs to grow demand and consume. Correct, Your Excellency.
Now, does somebody know the one which is available now and then which you are going to grow?
Phone is off. Check. He's here. Let him explain. Introduce yourself.
Engineer Richard Masco here again. Thank you, Your Excellency. Peak demand current 6 megawatts, projected to grow to 10 megawatts in the next 1 year. 6 megawatts current. It's projected to grow to 10 over the next.
That's what you told me.
Correct.
So what will you be doing with the 80?
I think that's what Engineer Zia was talking about. We have to find a way in the area.
But what happens? Educate us now from Waikura.
That's okay. It's now well balanced. It's now well balanced, but we have invested in a little more equipment on the transformers and substations, especially at Arua and Kole, to sink the power that may be idle, so that we keep the system parameters in power. The equipment consumes it itself. The equipment is like load. The normal loads we have in our homes, but we place it in the substation like there, and it will consume it.
If I've got extra water, I will pour it out. Okuiwa mazi. Okushukamaizi. Gaba menji.
On the export. Okay.
Why pour out excess power?
Okay, one other way is also to promote exports like we are doing. In any case, countries such as...
That one takes time, but in the meantime, you have 90 megawatts, people are consuming 10. That's why you have problems. You don't educate us. What happens to the 80 now, in the meantime now?
The 80 is a quality reserve, waiting to be consumed as we grow the road.
So where do you...
Reserve.
Blocked.
It's not blocked. Tomorrow or any time, once a factory comes up, it takes it up, it takes up some, and as we go along, eventually all the power will be used up.
How do you restore it? Because when
No, it is the capacity of the transformer. It's just like maybe having a vehicle with a capacity of 30 passengers.
It's like having more water potential in the tap, but if I don't open, it will stay there.
It will stay in the reserve, correct.
Okay, I have not understood it yet, but let's just go. Thank you. Now, that was part of the problem. You hear, even now, the problem is not yet solved. I have not understood how they will solve it in the short run. But you hear that the plan now is to supply the 6 reliably, which they think will grow to 10, and then look at exports. Maybe you can export to Arua in South Sudan, in the Congo, and maybe to Oraba in South Sudan. But now, we shall be able to attract factories. We shall be able to attract factories confidently. Say that the power is there, you come. Power is there, you come. Power is there, you come. Now, my only problem is to be sure that it can be kept safely in the meantime. But engineers, Wako and others have said, don't worry. There is what we call in our language here, Luo language, dero. Dero, machtie dero. Do you call it the same here in like Acholi? Because me I speak Acholi. Is it dero in Arua? Dero, the granary. Yeah. So therefore, me dero tie mach madwong. There's a lot of power in the granary waiting to be used. So therefore, what I would recommend is to develop like an industrial park somewhere in West Nile, near the power, so that people don't have to come looking for land, begging, all that, wasting people's time. These people have got other places to go. If you don't handle them well, they go to other places. Uganda is not the only place on earth. So the leaders get some land where there is an industrial park. Then it may move quickly to consume the 90 megawatts. Now, after the 90 megawatts is consumed, what do we do to increase it? What is the plan? The other engineers, please tell me. Not engineer Wako have overworked her. These younger people, these younger fellows. What is, because suppose we get, because like now in Mbare, the demand for power there is more than 250 megawatts.
That supply. Okay.
Now we are running up and down. So when there is increased demand, what is the plan? Apart from generation, how about the transmission?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We do have a grid development plan, which is looking at expanding our transmission network.
Tell us, what is it? I'm also not as ignorant as I look. Tell me.
Yes, Your Excellency. We have identified the key demand centers, demand growth centers. For the oil and gas, for example, we are now constructing a substation in Kabale, which will support the oil extraction activities there. We have also mapped out the different industrial parks, which are 23.
How will extra power be added on this side? Please, don't waste my time.
Your Excellency, in terms of adding extra power, yesterday we laid off construction of a 20 megawatt solar plant in Madiokolo. That is an additional 20 megawatts within this region.
Please, that is generation. I'm talking about conveying. Suppose there is more demand here. Yes, you can add by solar power, but suppose you are to bring more power. What is the technology, the method? But from
You want to okay, you talk.
Your Excellency.
Remove your mask so that I can hear well.
Your Excellency, my name is Engineer Abdonatwine, Commissioner Road Verification. We have a plan to, Arua substation now is at 400 kilovolts.
That one I know.
Now we are extending a line to Nimule at 400 kilovolts.
200.
Nimule.
200.
400.
400.
Yes. Now we'll bring a line
Oh, so you can hook West Nile to that one?
from Nimure to Arua.
Oh, okay, then it can come like this.
So you have another line.
Oh, okay, so when there's more demand, there is another pipeline. You know, for us, we know water. There's another pipeline of electricity going to Nimure, which is bigger than this one. It is 400 kV, 400 kV. So from that one, through Ajumani, they can link West Nile to that additional one in case there is more demand. Because these are the issues that the technical people, you should do, explain to the leaders, so that the leaders know what they are talking about, because they really waste our time. Okay? So that is the story of the electricity in West Nile. That time, the transitional plan was in Nyagak. Have you heard of Nyagak? Because we said, instead of trying to waste power, bring it from Lango, which is very far, let's develop a small power station in Nyagak of 6 megawatts, which would be able to, now you can hear even today, you have not exceeded the 6 megawatts. So I don't know what happened to Nyagak. What was the problem? Was it a problem of water or what?
We have Nyagak 1, which is operational. It is 3.5 megawatts, and it has been supporting this region before we connected it on the grid. We have Nyagak 3, which is 6.4 megawatts, and we expect to complete it by December.
Also,
so that,
it
yes,
had not been completed.
Not yet. It is not yet connected on the grid.
That's why there was a gap of the 3 megawatts.
Yes, Your Excellency.
2.5, 3.5 versus 6.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Okay. So that is the story of power in West Nile. And for me, I follow everything. I knew what we were doing. I was briefed, and I was sure that we would solve the problem. Now we are going to do more generation. We have given Ayago. Ayago is 450. Ayago is how much? 840. Huh?
840 megawatts.
300.
840
840 megawatts. Ayago is being we have given it to somebody to develop and sell power at 4 cents. Is it 4 cents or what?
About that when we finish our studies.
So that one is coming up. There is Kiba site, there is Oriang site. We are giving all those sites to people to develop on the Nile. And then we have the geothermal in the Lekarbat area, the geothermal. I think that one has got like 1,500 potential.
1,500 as of now.
Potential, the geothermal from underground. And then we have the solar, as they are saying. They have already put some solar here. There is some other solar in Bulambudi, in eastern Uganda, of 200 megawatts. And we shall continue with the solar. And then finally, we are working also on the nuclear power stations. 2 of them, one by Russia, another one by South Korea, will produce, I think, a total of 15,000. Is that so?
Your Excellency, we are planning 24,000 megawatts.
From the 2?
No, 4,000 from the 2, but in total, in our generation plan, 24,000 megawatts.
Oh, okay. From the
From nuclear.
So how would you get the 52,000, the one we are targeting? How would you get the rest?
So, hydro, combination of solar, we have a solar, combination of geothermal, then we have heat energy, Kabale, and many other.
Very good. So what is the lesson for lesson? Propaganda, just talking, so that they hear that you have talked. Now I'm very happy to be here because this problem is now solved. The problem now is to have more factories to consume the power. Our therefore, Afoyo. Manzora. Thank you. I don't know Kebu. I don't know Kebu. I would have spoken Kebu. I don't know Kebu. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I would request everyone to stay seated and only the protocol team will guide how you'll exit. I request that we remain in our respective seats. The protocol team will guide how we'll exit. But thank you so much to everyone who has graced this occasion from His Excellency. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow in Arua as we commission something similar to what we have witnessed today. Thank you so much to the ministry team, the team from UETCL, kindly stay seated. There's something from the president. Kindly stay seated.
It has been agreed that you go ahead to the other side. You go ahead, I will follow you.
Okay.
You go ahead, I will follow you.
Thank you so much for the guidance, Your Excellency. And we appreciate that it has been timely. So for those that have been invited to the next event, kindly make your way. And please be mindful of the steps you take. This is a live substation, so kindly be mindful. And for those with protective wear, kindly at our safety desk. Please do not go with the safety wear. Be kind enough to return it.